Howdy, folks. Welcome back to When a Butcher Gets Creative. And I was supposed to jump on last night to get some live coverage of Trump's assassination attempt, but I just couldn't make it. And I apologize for that. But first off, there's the 72-hour rule. So I'm still early on that, which is basically when something big like this happens and it involves government and maybe conspiracies or whatever, when the fog of war is unclear, you should wait, around 48, 72 hours just to kind of let it chill out. Let me close that window shade. It's kind of like give the story some time to breathe, give some time for the facts to come out, for it to because the truth is what lasts. Propaganda is super shiny and very, get your emotions going. It's the wokeness, it's the emotion driven storyline narrative. So it's good to just give any story, just give it some time, let it breathe, let it develop, and see what happens. So we're still a little too early on that. So I'm going to take a little different approach with going along with the talks. I've been going the topics and the talks lately, which is just sticking with the DEI and the woke, diversity, inclusion, equity. It's basically how communism is being introduced to children. And I'm talking about college student children and little children in schools, completely compromised, captured. All our public schools are indoctrination camps now. If you love your kids, get them out of public schools. They will be forever destroyed if they remain in public schooling. Just look at the data. They're not learning anything valuable, anything that could be applied to the real world in public schools anymore. If they are learning it, it's by accident because they're not being taught that. So I'm going to cover the Trump assassination attempt, but from the screen, from the viewpoint, the filter of DEI. And 1 second. Sorry about this. It's important text, sorry. So I was going to do this and this again is Chris Ruffalo's. I want to make sure I give him props. This is his. I didn't come up with this. Christopher F. Ruffo. I didn't come up with this. This is taken from his work. But so DEI, equity, like equal was not good enough. Equal, which the Constitution says we should have equality. Not good enough for these communist racists in public schools. Not good enough in public schools. And I'm not just focusing on public schools. This is just really quick to mention public schools, but it's in all branches of government. I would say, to safely prune the rot, wokeism rot out of the institutions, the American institutions. Top 3 layers across every institution: Department of Justice, Department of Defense, Department of Education, maybe even more than 3 layers in the Department of Education. Completely fire and trials and probably jail the top 3 layers after the trials of every institution. The top 3 heads, gone, gone, gone. No questions asked. Just gone. That would start to purge, because you still have to believe that most people are still good. They're still honest. They're still God, she keeps texting all the time. They're good. They're honest, they're moral, they're ethical. It's just the people at top with the actual power are giving communist mandates that more often than not harm the people they're in charge of protecting. You saw this in 2019 for the pandemic of policies. Everything they came out with is what harms people. Putting masks on for 8 hours a day while doing hard manual labor, that's how you die. That's how you get pneumonia. That's how you get heart palpitations, because you're not getting oxygen. And the masks aren't made for that. It's just complete garbage. And we fell for it. We did it. We complied. That's the main little thought experiment now is all these Antifa BLMs, trans flag people that are walking around in the streets being supported by the corporations, by the military, by Congress, by the White House, are supporting these BLM Antifa trans flag people. All of them in Germany would have been Nazis. They would have followed the rhetoric and the propaganda of the oligarchy. They would have went lockstep with the National Socialists, which became the Nazis. And that's a weird thing. How can socialists be right wing? Isn't that weird? Hitler was always considered right wing. The right wing, like the Republicans of that era of pre-Nazi Germany, they were defeated. The leftists won. The National Socialist Party won. Hitler's party won. The left won. That's how the Nazis got in power. Isn't that a weird thing to know? But it's sneaky. DEI is sneaky. That's why you have to be able to navigate it properly, because they thrive on it. Not they're doing what they're told. They're doing what they're brainwashing, commanded to do by their evil overlords. But DEI itself relies, communism is called entryism, relies on doublespeak. You use the ubiquitous definition, racism, blah, 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 to get oppressed, oppressor, to get into power. And once you're jackboots, little brown shirts, a Cosmonol, I can't remember the Russian ones, Mao's little generals, once they get you into power and the communists are in power, then all the jackboots are unnecessary. The useful idiots become non-useful. They get lined up against the wall every time. And that's what these people are headed towards. The Antifa, BLM, trans flag people. They're headed towards the cliff. And MAGA's like, hey, you guys, waterfall. You're headed towards a waterfall. And they're like, fuck you, white supremacists. We're like, don't waterfall. You're heading towards a waterfall. They're like, don't hate us. Our body, our choice. We're like, waterfall. You're going towards a waterfall. You're going to die. Waterfall. They're like, women are men too. And we keep telling them, you're heading towards a waterfall. You're going over the edge. And they call us white supremacists for it. What do? Educate. You can only educate. You got to try to, like I mentioned on the last talk, all you got to do is just get one little speck of light, one little teeny crack in their minds of reality, and that will take root and spread. But the doublespeak is the key. And you have to go through things like anti-racist therapy. They did this to Jordan Peterson. To keep his license, his psychiatry license, he had to, because now in Canada, misgendering is now a felony. It's a hate crime to call a dude that cuts his dick off a dude. A eunuch would be acceptable. I'd accept eunuchs, fine. But they want to be called women. And that's just fucking retarded. So, no. But in Canada, it's illegal. And they're trying to pull that shit down here. And they're going to do little steps. It's called struggle sessions. They're using propaganda and struggle sessions. That's communism. That's how communism works. It gets you scared enough to start editing yourself. You got to cancel yourself. Your neighbors have to tell on you. Kids have to tell on the parents. It's for the benefit of the party. And I'm going to skip this for right now. But this is just, what they're doing in schools, because that's going to be a whole other topic, like why they're fighting so hard to teach young kids how to give blowjobs to adults. What would drive them to do that? Even when the parents come out and say, no, we want you to stop doing this, then the Department of Defense or Department of Justice comes out and labels the parents that want the elected administrators to stop teaching their kids how to give blowjobs to adults. The parents that come out against these administrators, these pedophiles, they get marked as domestic terrorists, white supremacists. That's how communism works. So let's start at the top. Okay, so I got this, but I want to start because not too much is known yet about Trump's assassination attempt. There's a lot of stories coming out. There's a lot of, give it that 72-hour rule. Let it breathe, man. Some weird shit's being talked about. But there's a couple pieces we do know that are facts. Fact number one, this is Kimberly Cheadle. She is the Secret Service director, a DEI hire. So what has been her focus lately? Has it been training the Secret Service to be more effective at their jobs? To allow them to protect whoever they're supposed to be protecting better, to running drills, de-escalation drills, training drills, counter sniper drills? Is any of the tactical parts of the job important to her to be? Are any of those aspects of the job of Secret Service person what her focus is? No. Her focus is DEI. She is very proud of all the 5-foot overweight women she has been hiring. And she's super proud of that. So on Trump's detail, I mean, we got women like this, 5, maybe 5'5" maximum. Trump's 6'2" without shoes on. So he's probably 6'3", maybe 6'4" almost with big heels, like dress shoes. She comes up to his chest. And there's other ones that were even shorter. This one in the bun, you see her. Where was she at? Down here. How is she protecting his head? She's keeping him from getting shot in the ass, maybe, with that fat ass. How can a short person, a short female, protect a tall male that's bigger than her? How does that work in the Secret Service handbook? These people's jobs are to stop bullets with their bodies. Hopefully prevent bullets from flying. That'd be better. But if it comes down to it, that's their job. And I haven't found the pictures yet. Oh, this is it right here. Look at this. All the dudes, all the men Secret Service rally around Trump and cover him. The female, when the shots rang out, she ducked. She was fucking scared. This other one did a good job. She's just short. You physically can't do it. DEI has no base in reality. They hire, if you do weird shit with your genitals, they'll hire you. Or if you have highly melanated skin, they'll hire you. That's DEI. Or if you're an overweight woman now in the Secret Service. No basis in reality. Can't function as the core part of this job. And I'm all for equality. Fuck equity. That shit's communist retarded. But equality, fine. Women are just as smart as men. Men are just as smart as women, whatever. But women aren't as big as men. Women aren't as tall as men. You can't guard a 6'2" dude if you're 5 foot. You cannot, not in reality. So DEI is not based in reality. And now the Secret Service has been infiltrated with DEI. Look at her. And you see the videos. This chick can't even holster her gun right. She tries to holster her gun like 3 times. And then she's like, well, whatever, fuck it. Just puts it in the other hand and holds it and walks off. And they're running around crazy, scared. They had no idea what the objective was. It was total lunacy. And so that's step one of DEI. Hire very, very short, overweight women to protect a tall male. And even though Trump's rating was catastrophic for the danger he was in, a massive potential for danger, Kimberly Cheadle kept denying Trump's campaign request for more Secret Service. He's like, we need more Secret Service. There's threats on my life. She kept denying it. Who does she answer to? Department of Homeland Security. Alexander Mayorkas. She answers to Mayorkas. And the FBI, who was looking into this now, are the ones that did the raid on Mar-a-Lago, are the ones that said the Hunter Biden laptop was fake. All those same people are now going to look in to see if the FBI was involved in this. Guess what? They're going to find out that they weren't and that they were innocent. Isn't that weird how it works every single time like that? So threat level catastrophic. Trump is in danger. Repeated attempts for Trump's campaign to ask her for more Secret Service. She said no. But what she did do is give a bunch of Secret Service to Jill Biden. Even pulled off Trump's usual ones to go to Jill. What's up with that? So that's weird. And so this was not Trump's regular detail. Trump did not. He was sent with the DEI backup squad B, the overweight couch moms. And maybe they're good people. Maybe they are. Maybe they passed the field test. I don't know. But that's just a stupid idea to put a short, fat woman to guard as a Secret Service. To guard the next president of the United States. And in a reality, in a real world, that is not what you do. In a DEI made-up fantasy land, that's the exact thing you did. I'm surprised she had both her legs. Like, she probably should have been super black lesbian that with one leg, oppression Olympics Maximus. And I'm surprised that they didn't go that far. Maybe they tried. I don't know. Maybe she has a prosthetic leg. Who knows? But yeah. So they're coming. Even Washington Times is posting her DEI hiring, because that's her focus. Not how do we train drills and get these people more effective at their job. Because these DEI women had no fucking clue what they were doing. This one with the ponytail bun, where's she at? You see her back right here. Oh, right here. This is the back of her head. That's her right there. Maybe. She seems like she didn't lose her shit. But the rest of them, this fat lady right here, this fat short lady right here, look at these guys compared to her. Now, who really, if your life depended on it, who would you want protecting you? These big fucking oak trees or this little fat sapling over here? If you were honest, there's only one answer. So, she's wearing a fucking thong too. Jeez. So maybe she has some credit, but these two, what the shit with these two? Watch the video. I don't have it pulled up and I can't pull it up fast, but watch these two. They're just running around back and forth. She can't holster her gun. Like, holy shit. Like, just saying these people are the B team is giving them a compliment. This one, maybe. We have to see more on this one. She actually tried. But look, she's down like 1.5 feet, 2 foot. How do you protect his head? You don't. You don't if you're that short. So that's the outcome of a DEI. So that's the main point I want to touch on. It just, to me, notwithstanding the 72-hour rule, there's some other things I want to talk about that's not DEI related with the Trump assassination, but those are all subject to change. This is fact. This is happening. So this is locked in, and I'll, for the second part, I'll kind of move away into what we think we know right now, which some of it's true, like the position of the shooter, where Trump was at. I got some maps and the timeline kind of thing. So the broad strokes we kind of are starting to fill in. So of course I'll do updates and all that if things change, but DEI causes, and the most important thing is this. And this is one of the things where, sorry it's so blurry and shitty quality. I was snapping all these on my phone really quick. Jonathan Willis. And again, 72-hour rule. This could be totally fake news, totally false. It's just what seems to be true right now. And we're gonna roll with the punches. If this holds up in the next couple days, couple weeks, fine. Then we know it's true. But as of now, this person is claiming to be Jonathan Willis. He says he is Jonathan Willis. And he is saying that, as we saw and people are complaining about, him, the sniper, and the other counter sniper over here, you can't see him. Oh, there he is over here, this black, this couple of pixels right there. So there was 2 snipers up top there, and they were trained in on the shooter for about 3 minutes in their scopes, ready to pull the trigger. Had him locked in. Saw him fumbling with his gun, pull his gun out, get into position, fumble with it. They had him locked in. I had the assassin in my sights for at least 3 minutes. But the head of the Secret Service, Kimberly Cheadle, the head of the Secret Service, the DEI bitch herself, refused to give the order to take out the perp. 100% of the top brass prevented me from killing the assassin before he took the shots at President Trump. So, if this is true, and this is Jonathan Willis, or like if every aspect of this is true, like it might not be Jonathan Willis. He might not have said this. This might be made up shit completely. But we have questions right now. Why? Because we saw them for 3 minutes targeting that roof over there and the guy on the roof with the gun pointed at Trump. We saw them targeting them and not taking the shot. Why? This is the first answer we get. So let's just roll with it. Kimberly Cheadle wouldn't give permission to shoot. And we're getting reports. Because he had a ladder. The perp had a ladder, a big, extension ladder. Probably, I'm guessing a 12-footer maybe. And maybe a 24-footer if it was extended, that kind of thing. And that went up to the roof in between the buildings. And there were reports of many, and there's video, news reports of people interviewing people afterwards that said they saw the shooter, and they were pointing to the cops like, hey, he's up there. There's a guy on the roof with a gun up there. And the cops were running around crazy, not knowing what they were talking about. And then there was video, like, shaky camera video, but the audio on the video is like, he has a gun. He's up there with a gun. So there's multiple reports of police and security being given a heads up. And with the DEI princess herself, they gave Trump not his regular detail, They gave him less of a detail, and they relied heavily on exporting things like from cops around the area, which is fine to have them as a backup, but not to rely on them. So they use local cops and all that, local snipers and everything like that, which is fine. Thin blue line as a backup, but the Secret Service needs to be doing their job, not be 5 foot. So right there, we're starting, like the snowball's starting to grow. You know what I mean? Like it's starting to pick up speed rolling down the hill. Things aren't looking correct. Things aren't looking normal. A bunch of DEI hires. The snipers have the assassin in their scope for 3 minutes, watching him set up, and the order, and presumably what we have right now is that Kimberly Cheadle didn't give the command. We don't know that as fact yet. We don't know if this is Jonathan Willis, really. Even if that is him, we don't know if he said this. We don't know. But that's a placeholder answer just for now. Because we don't have any other answer of why you would wait till the perpetrator was set up and then started shooting to shoot him back. You would not do that, right? And check out Bongino. He's ex Secret Service. He covers this really well. He's calling for Kimberly Cheadle to get the fuck out. She failed miserably. Take your DEI bullshit elsewhere. And yeah, so it was the ovary patrol, man. There was just short, fat women everywhere, and she couldn't figure out how to holster her weapon. I think she tried 2 times at least, probably 3. I didn't see the gear falling on the ground, but okay. Erratic. They were scattering like cockroaches. The women were just scattering like cockroaches. No composure whatsoever. They ducked. You saw the chubbiest woman. She where's it at? I can't scroll right now. So these guys all jump on the president. This lady back here ducks. This lady over here doesn't know. This is when she was probably getting back up, but she straight hit the ground. Maybe she's not Secret Service. You know what I mean? Like, there's too many questions. But definitely, it just comes down to this. Like, if you're living in like reality and in a evidence fact-based reality, you would want these guys protecting you, not this fat slob. Right? I mean, let's just give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she did try to rush in and cover the president. These guys would have pushed her the fuck out of the way and actually covered him well. So that's DEI fail 101. Maybe she's good at other things. Tons of other things. Being a really tall, really big man, not what she's good at. But it doesn't matter. You don't have to, for DEI, you do not have to have the skills. You do not have to have the knowledge, the skills, or the ability to even perform the job, let alone successfully perform the job. We don't care about successfully performing the job. We care about quotas. How many blacks did we get? How many lesbians did we get? How many trans flag people did we get? It's not about, is our product up to standard? Are we producing a good product to continue the revenue to pay these folks? Not a concern. That's not even a concern. Shareholders, be damned. Do not give a shit about our shareholders. Do not give a shit about our customers. What are you doing with your dick? Is it weird? You're hired. So that's just observable reality. If bullets are coming at you, you want a bigger shield. And all respect to Secret Service folks, they are brave as shit. So I'm not dogging them at all. The Secret Service as an institution, as a concept, not dogging it at all. Put your life on the line to save the leader of the free world. That's fucking amazing. Awesome. That's not what I saw yesterday. That's not what I saw during the Trump assassination attempt. This is not that. These two fumbly bumblies, ovary squad, is not what I think of when I think of Secret Service. So this seems to be reported. And again, through this whole thing, take it with a grain of salt. We're still well within the 72-hour limit. So let's just take a step back. Everything could change tomorrow. All the facts, we could get videos coming out tomorrow that totally undo all the timeline, everything. Not this DEI shit. That's bullshit no matter what day of the week it is. But there's reports coming out that one of the cops did listen to the multiple rally goers, that there's a guy on the roof with a gun. They're all pointing at him for minutes, 2, 3, 4 minutes, saying there's a guy on the roof with a gun. There's a guy on the roof with a gun pointed at the president. See, there's reports that one of the cops took that serious and went up there. And when he got up there, he saw the guy, Crook or whatever his name being identified as now, saw him, and that Crook somehow like went over with this. He has an AR-15, and we whipped it over towards the cop, like he was going to shoot the cop, and the cop went back down. And then immediately, what they're saying is the shooter went back, and then that's when he started firing. So if true, that could have saved Trump's life. He didn't have time to aim right. But then talking about the aiming and where the bullets went and all that, that's a whole nother issue that we're going to have to dive deep into. And that's pretty much what I'm going to kind of hold off on, because if it wasn't an act of God, I can't explain it. So we got to wait for a little bit more details, because Trump turned his head right at the last minute at the exact right angle to where it didn't touch his skull. That's weird. So we're gonna leave that one till we're out of the 72-hour rule. But this is some stuff we could touch on right now, just developing, and this could all change, of course. So yeah, all right. So this is reported by Colleen Long. I don't know where she's from. Not long before shots rang out, rally-goers noticed a man climbing to the top of a roof of a nearby building and warned local law enforcement, according to 2 law enforcement officials. Climbing to the top of a roof via an extension ladder with a rifle. 150 yards, which you'll get the map up here in a second. I wonder if we could go back and forth. No, not yet. Okay. So 150 yards with about 400 feet from where Trump is. One of the only buildings in the area wasn't swept. There was no Secret Service on top of there. There was an extension ladder. He had to carry an extension ladder from somewhere. It's an open field, so nobody saw a guy carrying a rifle and an extension ladder. Like, if we start lining up the what the fucks, I mean, we're already at like 7 right now, and we didn't even get into it yet. So one officer climbed to the roof and encountered Crooks, who pointed his rifle at the officer. The officer retreated down the ladder, and Crooks quickly took a shot towards former President Trump. And I think we got around 5 or so shots, like a burst of 3 and then a burst of 5, or maybe that's 8 altogether. Then We're thinking the last one, then there was a pause, and then the last one we think was the snipers, which the sniper, if that other slide was true, the sniper did not get the go-ahead, but he did it once the guy started shooting. So many weird things. For specialists, learn that a Secret Service at Saturday's rally relied heavily on borrowing local police for its specialized tactical units that were meant to help spot and take out an attacker. So they relied heavily on local police. So the Secret Service, who are very specialized to do one thing, are outsourcing their job to local police. Which, again, I'm not dogging local police at all. Thin blue line. But they're trained differently. They are, your average police officer is not Secret Service and not trained the same way. That's easy to understand. So what does Trump do? Well, you saw, I didn't take a snapshot of it, but in his reply, the first thing he mentions is the other victims that were shot at the rally. Condolences to the families and the other. I think there was at least 2 other people shot, maybe 1 shot, 1 wounded, something like that. That's not confirmed yet. Nothing's confirmed yet. We don't know anything yet, but we're just reporting it as it goes, as it comes in. And again, 72-hour rule. But what is a true fact is Trump endorsed a GoFundMe that's raised over $2.6 million for the families already. So whoever died, whoever was injured, Trump's already raising money for them the next day. Oh, I did catch it. This is DEI in action. If you take one thing away from this talk, the big oak tree men protecting the president of the free world with their bodies. The DEI hire cowering like a fat pig in the background. This is not good. That is a worthless Secret Service agent right there. That's a DEI hire and does not have the skills, ability, or knowledge to do this job. In the crisis, the only thing that she's trained for, the only thing the job entails, and she's cowering. She's cowering. She's letting that bullet pass by her and get to the people behind her to get to Trump. This is DEI. This is the trans flag people. This is BLM. This is Antifa. This is MAGA. Okay? That's the difference. Awful. Like, completely awful. At least this one's trying, little bun lady. At least she's trying. G-string bun lady, I guess is what we'll call her. She's trying to get in on the pile. This other one, Moo Moo over here, nothing. So, yeah, we're gonna wait on this to see. We'll check back in. It's a probable answer for what happened. Otherwise, they're not trained to watch a sniper set up, a sniper climb on the roof, set up their gun, take aim, and shoot, and then these guys shoot back. That's not their training. That's not what you see a sniper, you see a threat, you take him out quick before he shoots. Not 3 minutes watching him set up. So these guys weren't doing their training. They were letting the sniper set up. Why? Why were they letting the slide? Even if this whole slide is not true, this ain't Jonathan Willis. We know that they did have in their sights. We were watching these guys on the roof. They were right to the directly back and our left in the video. You see them. So we saw these guys taking aim, and they were watching something. They were watching where everybody was pointing for a couple minutes, and they didn't take the shot. This is one probable explanation. We'll have to see how it holds up. But this is MAGA right here. Just a quick little history lesson for ya. Who killed Lincoln? A Democrat. Who killed JFK? A Democrat. Who killed MLK? A Democrat. Who created the Ku Klux Klan? Democrats. Who lynched blacks? Oh, the Democrats. Who owned black slaves? The Democrats. Who started segregation? The Democrats. Who created Jim Crow? The Democrats. Who started the internment camps? The Democrats. Who started the Confederacy? The Democrats. Who's called racist? Republicans. That's history in a nutshell right now. So when the DEI and the BLM and the Antifa and the trans flag folk, when they're saying white supremacists are the biggest problem, it's because they're being funded by the Democrats. Do you get that? They don't get that. The Democrats are funding them. They tried AIDS. They tried crack. Now they're just trying economic warfare. Just see what you see, man. That's it. Just see what you see. This is true. All this is true. And now still BLM and Antifa and the trans flag folks are more than happy to take money from the Democrats, to be let out of jail after they got caught rioting. What do you do with that? They're going over a cliff. They're spoiled like milk, like bad, rotten milk. These kids in colleges are spoiled. I'm not talking like rich. I'm talking like rotten, like brainwashed, empty-headed, rotten. And they're cheering the same people that are pushing them over a cliff. Imagine that. We got this dirt bag right here. Something's going on. She's what they usually do, you know, they because her boss is Alexander Mayorkas. So they both should be removed like immediately. He opened the border and she's hiring 5-foot fatties for to guard 6'2" men. So both of them are DEI 100%, have no skills for the job. And her job before this, she was head of security at Pepsi. She worked at Pepsi. Awful. Okay. Here's what we got. Yeah, we got these two scatterbrains just running around, have no idea what they're doing. They actually stopped. There was 3 of them, and they actually stopped to put on their sunglasses. Like their sunglasses weren't on, so they couldn't continue protecting the president until they had their sunglasses on. That's what we're dealing with. So we got right here. So there's the only buildings with a clear line of sight to President Trump was not cleared, was not checked by Secret Service. And one identified, I think they were over here. They said about 50 foot from it in the line of trees. So there's a group over here. You'll see him. He's the guy in the Trump visor with the troll hair. I think he was standing around here. He said a group of trees. about 50 foot away. And he said they were pointing at the shooter. So yeah, there was a ladder, a huge extension ladder, and they were sitting right here. Clear line of sight. And these are the other snipers you saw. We don't have them. I don't have another picture of them up right now. But yeah, they were sitting up here waiting for the calls, what we think right now. We don't know. They were 100% sitting up there, and they were 100% looking at the shooter, watching him set up, watching him take aim, and watching him shoot President Trump. They were watching all of that the whole time as everyone was screaming. There's somebody with a gun, a gorilla crawling, monkey crawling, whatever, gorilla army crawling, whatever it's called. Or is it called bear crawling? Bear crawling on the roof with a gun. And he had a ladder that he used to set up there to climb up. The what the fucks are getting outrageous now. Yeah, these two stopped to put on their sunglasses. She couldn't even fucking holster her gun. So, yeah, they rush in, take him down, get him into the car. And Thomas Matthew Crooks, they're painting him as a conservative. He says he's a registered Republican, and but he donated to Act Blue or whatever, that far leftist blue. He donated to them. So again, Kimberly Cheadle, look at her now. This is what leftism does to you. Look what she looked like. That's how it was. That's how it started, and that's how it's going. Wokeism, you do not hold up well. It's the Gollum, Lord of the Rings. It's the one ring. Wokeism drains your soul. Whatever you had left of a soul gets drained. That's what wokeism does to you. It drains your humanity out of you. So she denied Trump's campaign's request for more security. She gave him less security, and she gave him different security than normal. And they relied heavily on local police to do Secret Service's job. Not good. So that's where we're at right now. The main takeaways. This is a maybe. We don't know yet. We're still 72-hour rule. Come on. But as of now, we have zero reason why these two snipers, you see him right here, that little chunk right there, he's laying prone and the other guy's taking a knee. And they are dotted in with their scopes for at least 3 minutes, watching the shooter set up and aim and get ready to take the shot. So what'll be also interesting is these guys, they'll probably, get suicided or something because they saw the whole thing. They would have saw if the cop actually went up and down and looked and saw the shooter. And the moment the cop saw the shooter, you radio, shooter, they get Trump down. Nothing happened. Trump, that's what the guy with the red hair and then the Trump visor said. Why is Trump still talking? Why didn't they radio it in? These guys saw the shooter for 3 minutes, setting up his gun, taking aim, did not get Trump off the stage. Okay? That's basically the only what the fuck do you need. Like, once they saw a guy climbing up a ladder with a rifle, getting on a roof, laying prone, and taking aim at Trump, that's enough. That's the only what the fuck you need. Get Trump off the stage. They didn't do that. Why didn't they do that? We have no idea. We have this little bit of information that says Kimberly Cheadle told him to stand down. That's just like in Israel on October 7th when Hamas came in. Israel stood down for 7 hours and let it happen. That's how this happens a lot. It's a 9/11. You stand down. You tell NORAD that we're doing drills where airplanes are going to fly into buildings, so ignore all the air traffic today. NORAD said, okay, we'll stand down. That's how you do a false flag, is you get the It's infiltration from within. You get your people to stand down and let it happen. So, and I'm not saying that is what happened, but that's what happens just about every false flag that always goes on by the CIA, by the FBI, by our own government against us. And so far, it looks like that's what's happening this time. There's no other plausible explanation yet for why these two counter snipers were watching the shooter set up and get ready to take the shot and watched him as he took his shots. There's no explanation. And there is no explanation, even whatever they come up with in the narrative, the lie that the government's going to come up with. There is no explanation. They let it happen. That's proof positive right there. The fact that they watched him without shooting him, even if they were told to stand down, whatever the narrative's going to be, they watched the shooter take the shots. And the police, they relied heavily on the police. And one of them allegedly walked up or climbed up the ladder that was there. The ladder that was there. So that's right. And so I'm going to just DEI. We need to get this shit out of here. It's so fucking worthless. This person does not need to be on that stage cowering. Tons of fun, ovary club. Get off the fucking stage. You are not Secret Service. Look at that. That's pathetic. These men are giving their lives without a second. She's the weak link. Secret Service is only strong as their weakest link. There's your weakest link. A DEI fucking hire. Pointless, man. But that's where we stand. We got to get DEI out. Yeah, people have to understand what it is. It's a mystery now. It sounds like it's good. It's actually helping black people. You're against black people. It's not helping black people. It's not helping. I was going to say genetically. Genitally confused people. It's not helping anybody. It's hurting everybody. And you're walking towards a cliff. And we're trying to wake you up. My girlfriend says that's condescending when you say wake up. Don't know how else to say it. We're pointing at the waterfall and you're calling us white supremacists. We got to wake you up. You've been programmed. There's exquisitely refined psychological warfare being done to you. That's called praxis. It has to be, you can't be told about brainwashing. It has to be done to you. It's called praxis. It's what's happening in the schools. It's what's happening in the institutions. This lady is completely brainwashed. She's there to save her own life. That is not a Secret Service agent. That's a fucking anti-American coward right there. Get her badge, get her gun, kick her to the fucking curb. But there's still lots of questions. And I'm going to do another one tomorrow, hopefully. We'll get some more info coming in. But this is the world we live in. This is the world we're allowing ourselves to live in when foreign entities have taken control of our government. And we, the people, are just sitting back and taking it. What do we do? How do we stop this DEI shit from continuing? I got to research it. My answer is research it, do live streams of it, and try to get more people rattled up, a little bit of reality in their head, crack their minds open a little bit to where they start seeing that, okay, something's fucky. Something's really, you don't need a fat, short chick on the Secret Service detail. There's no reason. These not even to go get coffee. These guys could go get their own coffee. You don't need a short, fat chick on there. A coward. An anti-American coward. You don't need that. DEI does not work. It's how they're installing communism. They've been doing it for a generation or more. 25 years, 50 years. We did that in the last talk with MK Ultra and Project Paperclip. They brought all the Nazis over. At least 1,600 Nazis were brought, SS members were brought over and put in positions of power in America in the 50s. Not good. And now we're a fucking communist disaster. How could that have happened? Oh, we brought the communist over and put him in charge. We need to not do that. All right, folks. That's not really a sad note. That's just this is going to continue. I'm going to continue it tomorrow a little bit. Kind of point some things out. But the hardest part of this story is going to be sifting through the dog shit. It's going to be a lot of nonsense, a lot of misdirection. And then so Congress is going to pull the Secret Service into court, not Tuesday, but next Tuesday, 8 days from now, 9 days from now. So they're going to wait a week so that the FBI and the Secret Service and Department of Homeland Security and Mayorkas can get their lies straight. Then they're going to pull them up in front of Congress. But the Republican National Conventions tonight, we got to jump in on that. Maybe I could do a little bit of that right now. Let me check to see when that's happening. Trump is supposed to show up to that. All right, War Room just came up, and they're doing something. Maybe you guys should turn into War Room. They're doing a late night version. As you know, Steve Bannon is in prison right now for a misdemeanor, the same crime that Mayorkas did before this new assassination attempt by somebody, because the Secret Service is under the DHS, which is under Mayorkas. So Mayorkas did the same crime as Steve Bannon. Well, Mayorkas isn't going to jail. Hunter Biden did the same crime as Steve Bannon. Well, Hunter Biden's not going to prison. Only Republicans are going for prison. Democrats are not going for prisons for the same crimes. Let that sink in. Just let that sink in. Well, yeah, Steve Bannon's his War Room's going live now on Rumble, or I'm actually on Getter. It's on Getter. Well, maybe give that a look. See, I'm gonna get on out of here. Thanks you guys so much for stopping by. Hopefully this made things a little bit clearer. Hopefully I didn't muddy the water up. That's what I'm trying to avoid, trying to get things out, but not muddy the water. But it's the DEI approach on this, man. It's everywhere. And it's really obvious in the security detail, in the Secret Service security detail. So obvious who doesn't belong there. And they're there for fake, phony, and false reasons. But all right, we love you guys. Catch you next time.